Hey guys, Spiderbite here, and I'm covering another Custom Zombies mod that I'd like to see applied to Black Ops 2, if not in the game's release, but potentially in a DLC or a playlist update. They're going with a multiplayer engine. What we're talking about here is Gun Game, and we were first introduced to Gun Game on a map called UGX Christmas, which was developed over at ugxmods.com. Put a link in the description for you, but let's take a look at the map here, and we'll talk about it as we go.
Deck the halls with undead Nazis. 'Tis the season to kill zombies. Take a shotgun for good measure. Headless zombies for your pleasure. See the blazing guns before us. Strike them down in blood and gore us. Throwing our shotgun barrels. Crack their skulls and sing some carols.
Sorry about that, but I had to let you guys listen to that. It was pretty good intro music for the map. Now, we're playing timed gameplay, and the difference between regular gameplay and timed gameplay is that the zombies just continually spawn in timed gameplay. If you didn't select that, it would go by round. It just takes longer, and I think it's more fun playing it when you don't have the sort of in-between rounds and the zombies just keep spawning and spawning and at ever faster and increasing rates. So these zombies actually have drops, so you can pick up perks like Kill Shot, which is basically insta-kill. You can get Juggernaut, you can get Terminator, which gives you basically a bottomless clip, like we saw in Proper Tree. And that's it, and you just basically rank up. I mean, you have a points total in the bottom left. It times you how long it takes, and how many points to your next gun. Now, obviously, again, it'll play much better with 4 players, although I don't really like the degradation thing. I prefer just to keep the zombies coming at you, and whether... I think the points total is 50,000. Once you get to 50,000, that's when you've gotten to every gun and used every gun, and whoever gets to that 50,000 and past the last gun is the winner of the game. So it sort of goes against, I know they've released details, Treyarch has, for the Grief mode, which is kind of the multiplayer mode. It's not the co-op survival or co-op transit, but it's basically a Grief mode in transit where it's 4v4, but that's all it is, and they've only specified the one game mode. Now, I know they also talked about custom game modes, so I'm actually going to assume at this point in time, I mean, they haven't released all the information for zombies, that they're going to have a varying, they're going to have more game modes. They're going to have more than just a Grief game mode. They're going to have several multiplayer modes for zombies. And I think, like, the free-for-all concept, not having the 4v4, but having, everybody is just out for themselves, I think would be great to have in zombies. And that would make, games like this, like Gun Game, and I know there's Sharpshooter, which the UGX has also done, would make those games a lot better from a free-for-all standpoint versus a team standpoint. And it's great to have the team-based games, the 4v4. Absolutely. It's great to still have that. But I think we'd be missing out if we didn't have these free-for-all type game modes like Gun Game. One thing I would say, though, on a game mode like this, I'd almost prefer that the map is opened up instead of having to open the doors, get points to open doors, etc. I think really the map should almost be entirely open right from the start, and the players spawn randomly. I mean, the players could spawn randomly. Not sure about the perk system. Like, I do like the drops, the way that the drops work here, as opposed to getting perks and purchasing them. Once you turn the power on, and look at the boss zombie. We got a boss zombie. It's Mrs. Claus. Check it out. Hey, Mrs. Claus. She breathes fire. What the hell? Isn't this awesome though? And look at the reindeer. She brings reindeer with her. Ha ha. Oh, and even, I mean, there's just so many ideas out there. Even having the themed maps, right? I mean, this being a themed map, or at Christmas they put a patch out and for that one day only, it makes all the zombies like Santa's elves and the boss, whatever, if they're boss zombies or special zombies, maybe it's Santa himself, right? You have these elves, you have reindeer running around. I think that would be cool. One thing I should explain I didn't earlier when I mentioned it was the degradation. And what degradation does, and it only drops when you're playing this multiplayer or co-op, not single player. It's a random drop, and it degrades, I believe it either degrades yourself and or other players, so you fall back one weapon level. But it got to be kind of annoying when we were playing, and especially dying. Dying resets you completely, whereas I think maybe dying could potentially only degrade your gun advancement maybe by 1 or 2. I think I'd prefer it that way, especially if you can't get perks. And especially when you spawn in and you're spawning in the same areas and on a small map, right? Well, if we had bigger maps and we were playing 8 players and the spawns were random, where you'd spawn in when you're not around other players, so chances of zombies being in that general area as soon as you spawn in are far less. It's far less likely they'll be there. So, you know, just a bunch of things to consider when you look at different game modes. So I'm progressing quite well. I'm at 30,000 right now. I've got the M60, and I'm kind of playing it. I mean, again, this being a small map, there are no other windows that are in behind me, so I don't really have to worry about it. I can just let these guys come in, and I'm obviously... Look at the XM8. The XM8 was in here. I think this is the first time we've seen an XM8 on a Custom Zombies map, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been on another map. But, yeah, I'm just letting the... Especially the ones that drop, the zombies that actually drop power-ups, I'm just letting them come in closer, and I can take them out, so... I mean, it's much more intense when you're playing with 4 players, but for a single player, it's actually kind of easy. And we're almost done here. We're at 38,000. Again, the end point is at 50,000. Terminator. That, again, that's the cool perk. That's something that UGX has put in, and that's something that was in the proper tree as bottomless clip. AK-47. I forget how old this map is. Okay, this is the last gun, I believe. Yeah, the ray gun's the last gun. And I'm just going to try and get the points advancements. And I think there's a bit of a glitch on this map, though, as well, because I know I tried this a couple times before recording this particular gameplay, and I ended up getting one hit a few times and getting down, so... And I don't believe I don't have Jugs, so... Jug's only a timed perk that you have. Again, the Terminator is pretty awesome, so I can just keep shooting at these guys. And that's it. So we win. Spider-Man wins gun game with 50,000 points. Again, much more epic with 4 players. But again, another idea for game modes that can be taken from multiplayer applied to zombies. And why not? You got Grief there. You should be able to do all kinds of custom game modes. And hopefully we see some of these when Black Ops 2 releases, and if not, in DLC. Anyways, what do you guys think? I'm Spider, and I'm out.